Okay, so what we're doing today is we're just going out over how to conjugate a stem-changing verb. Now, up until now, we've only been using regular verbs. Somebody from our live studio audience, give me a regular verb.
Comer.
Comer was the first one I heard. Good. So comer is a nice, happy, regular verb. Okay, and the way we conjugate this is we drop the ending. We always do that. We take this part, which is the root or the stem, and we put it in all the branches of our happy little verb tree right here. Okay, so we have the verb comer, so we put com, all the way down. Okay, and then we put the endings on. So for the yo form, we put on an o, como. The to form, we add an es. For usted, we put an e. For nosotros, hemos. For vosotros, coméis. And for the ellos, ellas, ustedes, we put the comen. Okay, so this is a regular verb. This is a happy verb. Stem changing verbs are a little bit different. We're going to be conjugating this verb, and the verb is pensar. Now there's a couple of differences between this verb and comer. First off, this is an AR verb, so our endings are going to be a little bit different. You know that. But there's also something different about this verb. This is what we call a stem changing verb, which means this part is going to change in most of the forms. This is what we call an E to IE stem changing verb, okay? So instead, we drop the AR, we're left with our root, but instead of writing the root as it is on all of these, in all these spots, like we did with the verb comer, now we have to change this. See this E, or this E actually, this E is going to change to the letters IE, and that's what makes this a stem changing verb. So instead of putting PE, we're going to put PIE, and then we put the rest of the root on there, okay? Piens is now our root for most of these forms here. You'll notice I'm just jotting these down here. Piens, okay? Notice I didn't put it in here. There's a reason for that. Now let's put our endings on here. For an AR verb, we had an O, an AS, an A, an AN. That's totally normal. But you notice again, we have the stem change here in those four forms. The goofy thing is that in the nosotros and the vosotros forms, there's no stem change. What? I don't know why. They just do it that way. So this is what we have. We have the original root in those two forms. And then we can add our endings accordingly. We have the amos, okay, and the ice. And you'll notice that the four forms here that have that stem change, somebody years ago decided to, superimpose the picture of a boot over the top of this little verb chart here. And hence these became known as boot verbs. We just call them stem changing or boot verbs, either way. But the thing you need to remember is this. Whatever the stem change is, E to IE, sometimes it'll be O to UE. Sometimes it'll be U to UE. There's even one other, but and unfortunately there's no way to know if the verb you're trying to conjugate is a stem changing verb. You just have to remember which ones are the stem changing verbs. Sometimes a dictionary will give you a little indication. They'll give you something like this. It'll say E to IE or O to UE, and in that case you know that that's a stem changing verb. But the thing you need to remember here, remember only those four forms of the verb change. These two don't. These two maintain the original stem. And the other thing, remember that the endings are going to be the same no matter what. The stem change up here will not change what your endings are on the end of the verb. Okay? And that's a stem changing verb for you. Thanks.